Hello YouTube and welcome to the 5th episode of Xisuma's World. We're going to start off this episode by enchanting a pick. Now I've been working on the EXP farm a lot. It's a lot better, there's still things to be done to it. I will show you them later in this episode. But as you can see I'm now level 48 and it's time to enchant that pick. There we go. Efficiency 4. Oh dear. So I was really disappointed not to get a better pick than Efficiency 4. I was hoping for perhaps Fortune or Silk Touch, but never mind. It's time to move on, and what I'm going to be doing in this episode is hunting for slimes. And just down here and over here of where I found slimes before, so I thought this would be a good place to start. What I'll do is I'll hollow out the area a bit and then keep checking up on it and seeing if any slimes spawn down here. Okay, so I've hollowed out the area as you can see. It didn't really take too long and I've absolutely knackered this pick, which I've only just enchanted. So it's time now to just sort of wait around and see if they spawn. So I'm going to head off to the EXP farm and level up, and then when I come back hopefully we'll have some slimes. Look at this guy. I have no idea how he got in there. Strange. So I could hear slimes, so I went around and had a look, and this guy, exact same spot as before, which is interesting. I can hear more. Maybe not. No, I can definitely still hear one. Anyway, I'll go have another look. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, so there was a really big one just up here. Didn't quite capture it. So it looks like they like to spawn around my EXP farm as well. So, there are no slimes in this little slime testing area. I've been going back and forth for quite some time now, and yeah, there's been nothing. So I got pretty frustrated by that and decided to talk to some people, see if anyone knew much about how slimes spawn, and I got redirected to a guy called Roboticaust, and he's a slime expert. He gave me tons of useful information, and one of them he talked about was to use a tool to tell you which chunks you're in and if they spawn slimes or not. So I used the tool, and obviously this one wasn't a chunk, a slime chunk, and just nearby on the map there is actually something very rare, 5 chunks altogether, all slime friendly chunks, like the crosshairs on my screen, and it's very rare to even find 3 together, so to have 5 is quite unique. So I figured I'd go there and yeah, see what it was like, and it turns out it's right here. This is where my 5 slime friendly chunks are, at the EXP farm. So I started to think about perhaps laying down some half slabs so they couldn't spawn in here, but build the farm around the outside, and it would just be ridiculous. So I figured that it's actually not too rare to find 2 together, maybe not 3, but I'll probably find 2 spawners together in the future, so I could rebuild this, tear this down and rebuild it somewhere else. So as for this episode, I was going to do it on slime farming, and I really want to build one there in the future, so there's a lot to learn about slime farming. So for this episode I'm going to have to find something else to do, and yeah, leave the slime farm for a later episode. So I had a think about what I could do in this episode, and I realised that I actually have a list of things to do already. Some of the points people have brought up in the comments, and I still have to finish the chicken farm, and I realised I could also start preparing this area for the slime farm as well. The next episode in this series though is the finale, and I'm going to be doing something very different for that, so this gives me an opportunity really to round up everything this season and, you know, show you how I've got this working really well. Finished the chicken farm. Like I said, there's a few other things with the tree farm to talk about, and that'll pretty much wrap everything up for this season. And yeah, the next episode will be something very different. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about the EXP farm. So I've been doing a lot of work on the EXP farm. I've mainly been testing different ways of setting this top area up here to load them in here quicker. I tried many things with different fence gates, signs, moving the water into different places, and what I've done here is actually made a huge difference. I've removed the blocks above them. They used to have a one high gap where the water was, and now they have an extra one block gap above them, and the spiders now move very quickly and freely to where the water directs them to, which is this block here. And what I've done is I've added steps and a water source block, which is something I probably should have done straight away. For some reason I didn't think of it, and yeah, as you can see, they now load up very quickly. Okay, so the other big improvement I made is this block here. There used to be glass here, and I removed it because I had this problem when they would climb up, that they would hit the signs, or they'd hit the fence gates or the water or whatever is up here, and that would always cause them to fall back down. And now occasionally they do fall back down, but because they've got this ledge here, they'll jump up straight onto this one before they climb up again. Now this is actually not too effective because it requires you to be moving, because when you're moving they are tracking you, and if you're still they will just climb up here and sit here. So when you start moving they climb up this block here and then hit the water. So the key thing about the spiders is that we're always using the water to direct their movement, and this is the one place where I haven't been able to put water due to the nature of what it does. So although this is a big improvement so far, it's the one thing that is, it causes a problem. But the problem's not too big. It just means when you're down here you have to be moving around rather than staying still, and obviously most of us who use these like to you know bring up the inventory screen and then leave the computer alone for a while they load up. So I don't mind being down here moving around, but it's something to consider when you're making your own one. So in the last video we took a look at the jack-o'-lantern, and I tried to figure out the light level it would give off for the sapling, and I got that completely wrong. It turns out that the water block actually lowers the light level by 2 or 3, I think. So even with the jack-o'-lantern here on this block it wouldn't even light the sapling, so it does mean I'm going to have to use the torches, and I'm pretty sure I put a torch on every block along there, but I don't know why they would disappear. But as you can see, the trees have been growing, and down this end they've been growing a lot more because I've been at the EXP farm a lot, and I think when I'm there the chunks down this end of the farm don't actually load. So when that's finished growing, we'll come back here and we'll do the test to see how many saplings and wood we get. Well, we know how many wood we get already, but how many saplings we get just from this one row here, and then we'll take that number and times it by 4, and that will give us a rough idea of how much we get for the whole thing. Okay, I've been waiting absolutely ages for all of these trees to grow, and all of them but 2 have grown, so I'm going to go ahead and do the test now. I know there's 2 trees there that haven't grown, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to make a huge difference to the sapling count. So I've got my timer, and this time I'll make sure that I get down there and collect all the saplings within 5 minutes. So here we go. So as you can see, I've finished the test. I've done it all within 5 minutes, and we got 44 saplings. Now there's 37 places for trees to grow here, and that means that the tree farm supports itself and I won't need a second one to supplement it. Now when doing this test I came across a couple of things, the first of which is that the glass panes occasionally catch the saplings because they land directly on top of them. Now I'm going to keep it because I like the way it looks, and I don't mind swimming down there to pick them up. But if you wanted to change that in your own tree farm, you could put fence gates in there as well and set them to the open state. Second thing is leaves. They don't all decay within 5 minutes, and sometimes a sapling from another block of leaves will land on another one. So you actually have to go and punch out all the leaves and make sure that you collect all the saplings that way within 5 minutes, otherwise you will lose some. So yeah, it was a good test. It proved my original idea wrong, so thank you to all of you who left comments telling me to test it again. So there we go. For those of you who saw my channel announcement video, you already know that I had some trouble with my computer and lost all of the footage. So at this point in the episode is all I managed to recover, and there wasn't much else after this point, but I have to record it again. So now we're going to move on to using a program that will help you find slimes in your map. So this is the Minecraft Slime Finder program. You can find a link to it in the description box. You'll notice at the top it says 1.8.1. The algorithm for finding slime chunks hasn't changed since the full game came out, so this is still totally compatible. Now I've highlighted this box here because this is where you'll be entering your seed, and these two boxes here are where you enter the X and Z coordinates. And this box is where you put in the draw distance for the graph below. Now each chunk is 16 blocks and the distance number is blocks rather than chunks. The chunk that I've highlighted here will be the one that you are standing in based on your X and Z coordinates. And down the side here I've highlighted the Z coordinates. The numbers on the Z coordinates represent the chunks below them rather than above. And the same goes for the X coordinate, it represents the right side rather than the left. And I've also highlighted the X coordinate numbers here to point out that they're actually in the wrong direction, and this means that everything will be the other way around in your world map. Now that may sound slightly confusing, but if you just follow the numbers that are on the graph, it is actually quite simple to do. And here I've now typed in 144 into the distance box, and as you can see the graph has rendered a much larger scale of the slime chunks in our map. Now this is really useful because once you've found the slime chunk that you're building your slime farm in, you can go out to the rest of the map using this graph and find the other slime chunks and either fill them with water or half slabs to stop slime spawning elsewhere on the map and to make your slime farm much more productive. So if you're looking to either build a slime farm or to eliminate other slime chunks from having slime spawning in them, you can use this program to find out the exact coordinates of the chunks. So using the slime finder tool I was able to figure out the exact coordinates of my slime chunks. So I went down to the bedrock layer and hollowed them out, and this is it. The fog makes it a little difficult to see, but right now we're standing in the middle of the middle chunk. You can see the other ones just there, and I've been down here killing slimes already. There probably won't be any here at the moment because I killed them all a minute ago. You can see I got some slime balls. So yeah, this is going to be the location of the slime farm, and what I plan on doing is building a strip mine around the perimeter of it, and this strip mine will be used to light up all the areas as far as the render distance goes, find other slime chunks and disable them as well, and then it would make this site obviously very good for slimes, but also it would make it good for a mob spawner because I've lit up all the unlit areas, and the two of them in the same place will actually work hand in hand with each other because part of slime spawning mechanics is based on when mobs die. So when a mob dies, it gives a increased chance for a slime to spawn. So that's three things all wrapped into one there. We'll have a strip mine, a slime farm and a mob spawner, and they will all work hand in hand to make each other more efficient. But obviously I'm not going to be starting this project anytime soon. I've now got an area to come down and get my slime balls from, and at some point in the future, maybe after the treehouse is done, I'll start work on this project. So we're back down in the storage area, and I came down here to check on my diamond supply, and as I thought, I've only got one left, and I wanted more for enchanting picks, and then I started to think about using diamond picks for enchantments, and I realised that it's probably the wrong approach to have, because if it's an iron pick, a diamond pick, or even a wooden pick, it has no bearing on the enchantments you can actually pick up. So I started to think about what resources went into enchanting, and when we're in the EXP farm, the only thing we need is food. So obviously food is um, practically infinite, you know, we can always be growing melons, and that means that EXP in a way is almost infinite with our EXP farm. So I started to realise that perhaps the best thing to do would be just to continuously make lots of iron picks, because iron, you know, it's very easy to find. And yeah, I've made a few more, but I've used them all. So we've got an efficiency 2, and we've got silk touch as well. So yeah, what I'm going to be doing now is moving my enchantment table all the way over to the EXP farm and just enchanting tons of picks, and eventually I'll probably get the fortune that I'm after. And then this made me think that I don't know if this is possible, but if it was, if we got fortune and silk touch together, this could mean that I could harvest a diamond block, place it down, harvest it again, and sometimes the fortune as well as the silk touch means I could actually get more out of nothing, if that makes sense. I'm not sure, but basically you would get multiple drops with fortune on a diamond block, but with silk touch as well you'd get the ore back, so you would just generate more and more ore. So I don't know, it's something to try if I do get both of them together. So yeah, for now I'm going to take all of this over to the EXP farm and start enchanting some picks. So I'm back at the EXP farm. I've been doing lots of levelling up and enchanting weapons and picks. I put my enchantment table just around the back here, just a temporary measure. And I also put a melon farm here as well. And I realised it's a really good idea to have a source of food next to your EXP farm. So unfortunately I'm going to tear this down one day, but when I build a permanent one somewhere, I will definitely have a food source with it. So, I was also talking about some of the tweaks I've been making to it and how it presented a floor. The ledge up here, the spiders would sit on until I moved, and then they would track me again, and then they would move up into the water source. So I put this here as a temporary fix. It's a little silly, but it does work. I just bring up my inventory, minimise the window, leave it for a while and come back, and yeah, it loads up all the spiders. And I think I must have left it for about 20 minutes maybe, and I had 600 spiders here and about 1 frames per second. But yeah, so now we'll go back to the base and I'll show you my picks and such that I've been enchanting. Okay, so we're back at the storage area and we'll take a quick look at those enchantments. So I've done the iron helmet. I was looking for the one that would allow you to breathe underwater, because when I'll be building the treehouse, the first bit I have to build will be the base, and most of that will be underwater, so that would have been helpful, but didn't get it unfortunately. We got 2 swords with sharpness, and these picks here I done as well. And yeah, it's not a lot. I was hoping to get more done, but I realised that it's actually quite time consuming, and I haven't been to the Nether yet. I've been saving that for later, so once I've been to the Nether I'll be able to make the splash damage potions. I don't know the exact name of them, and then I'll be able to kill all the cave spiders and get their EXP a lot faster. So that's about it for this episode. It didn't go quite as planned. I was hoping to build the slime farm and do some other things, but I didn't expect to find 5 slime chunks altogether, especially on the location of my EXP farm. And if you didn't see my channel announcement video, I also got a virus on my computer and lost a lot of episode footage, so a lot of things got in the way of this episode, but I think it turned out alright. And I did mention that I'd go to the chicken farm, but I've become sort of dissatisfied with it, and I'm thinking of perhaps basically knocking it down and building something a little different back up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this season. The next episode's going to be something quite different, and yeah, when we come back in season 2 we will start work on the epic treehouse I have planned, and yeah, looking forward to that. So there you go, I hope you enjoyed it. Just one more thing I forgot to mention. My world map will be up for download when the next episode is released, And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.